Blessed Vapors here. You having a blessed day? We're about to make that happen. I'm Brother Kevin. As always, Brother Dave, right on the side, praising the Lord. Hallelujah, man. Today, we're going to talk about mods, man.
Mods, man.
We've got three mods that we're going to go over. We're going to talk about, say, button press, the functionality of the button. We're going to talk about the grip, how it feels in your hand, power transfer. We're going to talk about the aesthetic looking setup of it, if you will, the locking mechanism, build quality. We're going to be talking about a SmokeTech magneto. We're going to be talking about the Grand Vapor Sentinel M16 clone. And Brother Dave in his hand, he has the Camry K100 that we're going to be talking about also. We're going to put these three competitors into a grudge match, a Super Bowl, if you will. And we will. We're going to put them head to head. We're going to talk about them. We're going to go over everything. We're going to get up close and personal with all three. We're going to come back, and then we're going to weigh the pros and cons. And hopefully what we're going to do is help the brothers and sisters out there in the vape kingdom decide maybe on your next mod purchase.
Mods, man.
Let's go to some up close and personal.
So, brothers and sisters, let's start off with the SmokeTech Magneto. SmokeTech Magneto is a gold painted in color, looks like. Very nice mod. Very nice looking to the eye. The thing about this guy is that it has a interesting button. Button on most mods are going to be spring loaded. This guy is not spring loaded. Let's take it apart and I'll show you what we got. The button on this guy is actually two polar magnets. And what they're doing is pushing against each other to create somewhat of a cushion of your press, as you can see. Very neat. This button is very fluid feeling. Let's talk about the lock real quick. This is going to be your lock. Once it comes down, you're not going to be firing this mod. So it's on safety, basically. So once we take this out right here, and this is going to be your tube where your battery is going to go. This mod will do 18650, no problem. I think it goes all the way down to an 18350 maybe. As you can see inside here, you can see our little, they look like slot head screwdrivers down there. Those are your contacts for your batteries. The plastic around it is just the plastic so it doesn't make contact with the top of the mod. The threads on this, pretty nice. This has no floating top pin. And then we'll go look at the top here where the 510 connection is. On your 510 connection, as you can see, just basically a normal 510 connection. And you can see these little wells around here. And I think this is if you overfill, if you've got somewhat of a pro tank or something, you overfill and you leak out to the sides. I don't know. To me, it's just looks. It's just as if the sides right here, where these little waves are, just for look. It does have your holes in it, in case your battery vents or for venting of the battery. And you got this great, nice SmokeTech logo right there. Looks very nice. Looks very nice. Let's go ahead and switch off to the next mod here. Moving on, brothers and sisters, we have the Grand Vapor Sentinel M16 clone. This one is in all brass. All brass. So it makes it quite a heavy mod. This is probably the heavyweight of them all three of the mods that we're going to be looking at today. Very, very nice. I like this mod. Your button lock is right here. And as you can see, take this off. Now you're firing. Button press is very nice. Very fluid. Let's go ahead and unscrew this bottom cap. As you can see, we've got our rubber O-ring here. So this is where your battery is going to be sitting. So it sits somewhat like this. And as you press your button, as you can see that right there, your pin comes up, touches the bottom, and that's where you're making contact on the bottom. Your sleeves, right here, these telescope in and telescope out. This is going to be to adjust to your different battery sizes. So you have your 18650, your 18500, your 350s, all the other mods. I believe this takes all those batteries. As you can see, you also have your vents in here in case your battery goes to venting. Got a nice logo on the top right here. It's like etched in there, it feels, maybe almost like a laser engrave. And then on the back side, you got Grand Vapor right there, and that's almost same thing, laser engraved. I do like that this does have these little notches around here, so in case you got juice on your hands and it makes it slippery and you can lock your battery down. Let's go ahead and take this top off, and I'll show you this top pin. This is our top pin, and as you can see, it's a little dirty. We've got our plastic that's around in here. This is going to be your top pin, and this is going to be your 510 connection right here. Interesting thing about the Sentinel M16, this is a floating pin. And as you can see, I'm going to stick something in here, and you'll see that pin move. Very interesting. What's very neat about this, none of the other mods that we have that we're going to be looking at today have this. But anytime you screw down whatever you're putting on there, a tank, whether it be a tank, a RBA, or something along those lines, that pin is going to push down and allow whatever you're putting onto there to sit flush. And I'll get this Nimbus. I'm going to screw it down onto the top of here and show you. See how it sits totally flush there. Very nice. And I like this one. Minus the weight. It is a pretty heavy mod. Let's go ahead and move on to the next mod, if you will. K100. Okay, and we're back. Here we have the Camry K100. This is, says K-Sig, K-E-Sig on the top with your K100 right here. And you got your vent holes right there. Here's your 510 connection with the well right on top. And let's go to the bottom. Here's your button. Very nice chrome on this. As you can see, it says off and on. So off, you would turn it this way, and your button is going to be locked. And turn it back this way for on. Your button's going to be on. Also right here you have some more vent on the bottom. And as you see, the more you open this up, the other vent holes you have here. This will take an 18650 battery, no problem. Let's go ahead and unscrew this bottom where this button is. As you can see with the K100, once you push your battery down into here is where it's going to sit. And as you press your button, this is where your pin comes up, makes your contact, and it's going to be firing off for you. There's no adjustment on this spring at all, so what you have is what you have. As far as the mod itself, the sleeves, I mean, it breaks apart 3 pieces here. So we'll put this bottom piece back on. I believe this is aluminum. It feels like an anodized aluminum, but this does look like a sleeve inside of this casing on the top. So this is maybe basically like a beauty ring on the top, whereas inside of here is what's actually thread, is what it appears to look like. Down in here, you're going to look in this hole, you can see our top pin, and as you can see down here, you can see the plastic with the bottom pin on the spring. Threads are pretty nice, goes together good. And like I said, your 510 connection up on top. You have your well around here, and I believe you've got your slots right here for your air draw. Very nice mod. This does not have the floating top pin. This is single, just fixed top pin on the top, whereas your bottom is going to be that spring in there for your battery press in there. Camry K100. And we are back from our up close and personal time that we had together. It was a lovely time that we had, might I add. So let's talk about these three guys right before us, and let's go ahead and start with this Smoke Tech Magneto. Got some notes written down, so if I look down, it is what it is.
All right.
So I'm first going to talk about the bottom button on this, and the bottom button on this does feel really well. I really like the push of this button. I have had a couple of misfire incidents with this where it didn't fire off,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not a cool situation, man.
Not really.
No. Another thing I'm going to talk about is the lock. The lock on this sucks. It's horrible. It seems like you're not really even screwing it down tight when you turn it off, but yet it wants to come when you're turning the lock back on. It's really, really hard, and it almost unscrews your whole button whenever you do it.
Yeah.
Don't like the lock at all on this guy.
Yeah.
Big downfall for me on this guy. No floating top pin. Once you have a floating top pin, it's amazing, and you see how good it really is. And what I'll do is I'll come in here. Let me screw this on for you real quick. This is all the way down, and look at my daylight I've got shining through here. To me, I don't like that, man. What this could equal is, let's say I take a tumble with this. Let's say my mod falls. Once this mod falls, I got a feeling that top guy on here, whatever I have on here, would be it could knock it to strip my threads. Whereas the only one that's on here that does have the floating pin is going to be this guy, which is the M16. And with it totally flushed down, recessed onto the top of this, I've got a feeling that it would just sit better. It would be more safe because you're actually putting pressure around the sides of your mod instead of on your actual threads. And I've had David, brother Dave here. He's actually had a battery that stripped out his 510 connection in here.
Yeah.
And that equals no more vaping for you.
Bad deal.
I'm gonna say let's put the battery in real quick. Let's put a battery in here, and I'm gonna show you this. Without your battery cinched down, your wiggle is pretty good. So the threads are okay. They're buttery when they go in until you get to where your spring is. And once you're locked down, you're cinched up on this, it doesn't rattle no more, and it fits nice. I mean, it feels good. It doesn't rattle around. You're not making a bunch of noise. I don't know. I just that top pin kills it on most of these for me. The gold paint. This is another big deal on here.
Yeah.
Gold paint. This is what kills me also. You know, mods aren't cheap, and you know, to me, I expect something that's gonna hold up really nicely. I haven't had this mod that long, and if you look, the paint's all scratched up on it from setting it down. You also got some scratches around in here on this top collar if it shows up, and that's just from screwing it in and changing out batteries.
Yeah.
Another big thing, when you put a battery in here and you go to vape this guy, I feel as if you push this button and there's like a delay of when the power gets to your whatever you have on top of here. It doesn't feel like, it's like I'm holding it, I wait like a couple seconds, and then I can toot on it. It doesn't feel like the power was right there when I needed it to be.
Yeah.
Let's move on. M16. M16. I like this guy.
Yeah. That's a good one.
He's got one flaw that I could find. This button on the bottom. What'll happen is you using it and maybe turning in your hand and so on, this button on the bottom will unscrew and come loose on you. It's not that horrible of a deal. You can screw it back in. I've actually taken the spring that's in here out and put different spring in it that I found, and it made it a lot softer of a spring. It holds it a lot better.
Yeah.
The threads are good. As you can tell, it's got a little bit of wobble in there. When you push it down, once it's locked in, there's nothing. I mean, she is a solid piece.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Oh yeah.
Very heavy. This is not something you would carry around in your pocket.
Well, you know it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be walking around with this and somebody's liable to say, is that a mod in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
That's right. And, you know, sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not.
Sometimes it's not, especially if there's a bunch of dudes around. But hey, you can do what you want.
That's right.
I think this one looks the coolest. I like this is all brass. I mean, 100% brass right here, and it's nice, man. I think this one also has the best vape of them all. I feel as this, I push this button, and I've got all 1.21 gigawatts flowing through my atomizer, and it's rolling good. The big selling thing on this is that floating top pin on this. To me, that is worth all the marbles on this. Like I said, threads are good. I think the lock is pretty good. I really like that this guy has these threads around here, or these, this looks like a nut almost. Those cuts in there, when you've got juice on your hand, very easy to unlock and lock this. Yep. You're not going to have any problems with that. I have not had one misfire since owning this. Yeah. One misfire. Not one, man. Awesome. I like that guy. Let's move on to this K100. K100, I really like the K100. Got one bad thing that I can say about K100. This spring to me is so stiff, man. If you push down on this and you're using your pinky a lot, you'll wake up the next morning, your hands are gonna be sore from working out with it, basically, man. You almost it bothers me. Maybe I've got weak hands. I don't know. This is just me. I think the lock on this guy is by far the best lock out of all three of them. This feels really good in the hand. I like the way this feels in the hand. I don't like the fact that this chrome is so slippy. When you get e-juice on your hand and you're touching this guy, I mean,
slippage.
Slippery when wet, should I say.
Definitely.
I think this looks very, very nice. Aesthetically, if you put these guys out to pasture, I think the cows are going to come over to this guy first. Very nice looking. It's good color. I believe this is an anodized finish, whereas this is a painted finish, so the paint rubs off on this. Anodization, it's a little bit harder to get off. Also, the chroming on this guy, top notch, man.
It's real nice.
This has been used quite a bit. It's been scraped around on the tables, and this button still looks fresh as the day it came out. I do think the threads are okay on this. This is a 100% real Camry K100, and just off the battery, I mean, you've got lots of wiggle in here. Once you cinch down on it and that spring does what it's supposed to be doing, you've got nothing.
It's solid.
Very solid. Yeah. No floating top pin. That hurts me, man. That hurts me bad. And to date, not a one misfire on this guy either. Dave, which one is your favorite, man?
Oh man, they're all really good mods.
If you had to put them in order, least to greatest, what would you go?
Least to greatest? I would have to put my least favorite is the Magneto.
Why is that?
For me personally, the lock, the button, the fact that it's painted gold, it scratches up.
Yeah.
There's no floating top pin. It's still a really good mod, and I would recommend it to like the beginners, you know, to get started on it. It's not too expensive, but this is definitely probably my least favorite out of these three.
I believe Magneto, I think we threw out, what, $42 for it or something like that. Yeah. It was on eBay. And
that's not too bad.
Right, it's not bad.
For me personally, and I know Brother Kevin this is where we differ, but I believe this would be my second least favorite.
Okay.
And the only reason being is it's heavy. It's bulky. You know it's in your pocket. The good things about it though is really that the lock is amazing. The button press for me, it's all right. It's not my favorite. And with that being said, K100. That's my favorite.
That's your guy.
That's my guy right here, man. I can vape with this all day. For me, it feels good in the hand. It is a little slippery up here, but I mean, if you're choking up on it, that's what you're gonna get. But it kind of forces you to hold it by the anodized gold part, which I like. And then, really, for me, it's just a simple squeeze. And you've got a good button press. The lock is incredible. Brother Kevin, this is my guy.
That's your guy there. That's your go-to guy.
This one, all day long.
Well, I've got a little bit of a difference here.
Yeah.
Difference of opinion.
Yeah.
This guy, I hate him.
We can agree on that.
I absolutely hate this guy, man. There's people out there that swear by this Magneto, and I'm not going to be one of them. I can tell you that much. Don't like that the floating top pin isn't there. It kills me, man. Kills me. I hate the button. I like the idea. In theory, this button is amazing. No spring. It's not going to wear. All that good stuff. It's misfired on me. I don't like that. Yeah. That's you're expecting something and you look back down and you're like, wait, what happened here?
Where'd it go?
Not to mention, I don't like the fact, I don't feel like I'm getting all the power.
Yeah,
I really don't feel like I'm getting all the power that coming out of my battery.
Yeah.
The 1.21 gigawatts, David, I'll never be able to go back in time with that.
No.
Ever.
And I need it all at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
K100. This is probably my second. This would probably be my second guy. Let's say, I don't know. Let's just say that that guy, he gets tired, and I want to put him down in the bed and let him go to sleep for a little bit because I've used him all day. I'll go to this guy. If this guy's around, if that's all I had,
oh boy,
I'm gonna wake him back up because he's gonna have a long night. It's the floating top pin on this that gets me. It really does, and the fact that how slippery everything is. I think if they would have knurled even, or maybe even notched it out like the nut down here on their lock, I would really like that. Because like I said, with juice on your hand, this is good chroming, and with juice on your hand, it's slippery. Even with just a little bit of sweatiness on your hands, you're slipping out of it.
Yeah.
Cool thing about this though is that what it came with was a cardo tank, as I have right here. Once you screw this cardo tank on, and either one of these can use a cardo tank, but once you screw that cardo tank on, they give you this pretty little sleeve that slits on top of here, and it's very nice sitting, operates very nice. I think that looks top notch. I mean, that's stellar looking, man.
Yeah.
As far as other than that, like I said, that's gonna be my number 2. Let's go number 1 here, and that's gonna be my Sentinel. Sentinel, I believe, was the cheapest out of all 3 of these, and this is a clone. I do recommend the brass version of this if this is the one that you do want. They do make another one that's got aluminum sleeves. I believe it's either aluminum on both sides with the brass in the middle, or the aluminum in the middle with the brass on both sides. I'm not for sure. But by far, I think this guy gives me the 1.21 gigawatts immediately. The floating top pin, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Right.
Man, I've got nothing bad to say except it is a little heavy to carry around. I mean, this makes you not want to take this places with you. Like, maybe I'll just leave it at home, but then you try something else to me, and I'm like, ugh, horrible. Like I said, this one comes in at about, I believe I paid $30, and that was shipped to my house. I think I got it on eBay.
Yeah.
It is the clone. A lot of people talk bad about the clones. I don't see a problem with this guy. He works great. Camry, I believe, was, I'm gonna say it was like $50,
Yeah.
and then this guy, I believe, was like $40-something on eBay. So as they all come in, which one should be the best? Probably should be the more expensive one, which would be this guy. And to me, I've got to go with the cheapest one here.
Yeah.
Brother Dave's gonna say
K100.
K100 all the way.
Magneto. If anybody wants to buy one, go to our
Hit me
Facebook
up and I'll
page.
sell you one pretty cheap,
There
man.
you go.
Brother Dave, I believe our job here is done.
That's a good review. I think we've nailed all the pros and cons that you can get for these types of mods in this price range.
I agree, man. I hope it wasn't too long. Hope the video kept you here. I hope we answered some of the questions. If you got any more questions, feel free to send them to us, and we'll see if we can do something for you.
Right.
As always, remember, go ahead and jump on our Facebook, be our friend, we're lonely, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. We got a bunch of videos that's going to be coming out. They're going to be really good. A little comical humor that's between us.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, brothers and sisters, Lord is the boss. Pay attention. And keep calm. Want to vape on?
Let's do it.
Vape on.